All right. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to our Saturday call. It is the 17th of August, 2024, and this is the Rewards Ripple Solutions kind of a weekly update Q&A to give you guys an idea of what's going on around the world. And we want to welcome you to the call. Hang on, I've got somebody trying to get into the call. Um, so you should be here in a second. Anyway, thank you everybody for being on the call. We had to go through a couple of changes this week on what we're doing. So I'm going to go through the technical update that we've done this week to bring everybody up to date. And then after that, I believe that we're going to have Elias come on. And I believe Paul is going to be joining us as well, just to kind of give us an update on where we're at on his stuff. So first of all, let's talk about what happened last week, guys. As you're aware, we kind of went live on the back end for us to test the first NFL preseason game, or not the first, but the first one we done as a company to see how it worked. And we had a very successful game. Actually, we played in 3 games over the weekend, Sunday and Saturday last week. So everything is working where we want it to, as in asking the questions, allowing people to pick their choices. So it was very successful. Yes, we did have some bugs like anything else when you go live. We did have some bugs in our system. However, we're pretty excited to say every bug we found last week has already been completed and fixed. And of course, there were some games last night we participated in, as well as today, as we got some games today. So in reference to the product of working, have it say, or have your say as we call it, everything has been on track and it's doing what it needs to do. Now, we have not got the live environment room working as of yet. The reason we can't put the live environment room in play, it needs to be live, and unfortunately we cannot do that the way it's set up at the moment on local and then on staging servers. So remember, we take everything from local, which means our own computers, over to production, and then from production we take it into staging, and from staging it goes over to developers into staging, and staging into production. So right now, guys, we are at staging stage, so everything is working very well. What we can do, we're going to again test this weekend. We've got some bots that are going to come on, so it's going to put it under a stress test as well. So today, I think we've got it set for 5,000 people playing in the game. Most probably by tomorrow, we'll up that to 25,000 and so on and so on, so we can see what happens. The bot plays and it asks the questions all at the same time. The one thing that we have not got yet in place, like I say, is a live environment room. However, the different things that we're putting into the live environment room are pretty exciting. For example, there's going to be many things that you can chit chat with. You can opt to go into there when you go into playing to the game. If you're a 13-year or younger, I think it's 13. I won't make that statement yet. It's a young age. Then you won't be able to see everybody's text. We were having a problem on saying, how do we overcome that? So the profile of the individual that's playing when they sign up is going to dictate what they see in the live chat. For example, some senior people, some elderly people, they may be calling one another out and picking on them and using language that they're entitled to do as an adult. However, we don't want the children to do that. So that was one of the things that we've had to work on code-wise this week, to making sure that that doesn't happen. Of course, also some of the images and things of that nature. So we've had a good success week on that. We've actually had to revert back to our email program, because we've had some situations that tie together with our other platform that is not working together. Basically, 2 things were written in 2 different languages. Our existing emails that we've had for the company has been put on a server that has about 4,000 emails. Unfortunately, the email processor and server is old language, because we've had it so long. And when we built the new one, that's been built in all new language, and of course on different servers. We're having a problem. We may end up having to switch to a different server completely on both Avazu and Rewards Ripple Solutions. So that's a little bit challenging that we're concerned of. Also, guys, we wanted to let you know that we finally got some things sorted out. So we are streaming again today: YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or X, and also I think there's a couple of others. So they've got that all figured out as well. So now the live streams will come back. But guys, in reference to emails, receiving emails, we're having a problem. We're not going to sit here and tell you anything else. We're going to tell you up front it is causing a problem. In fact, next week we may have some issues with the site going down. Please don't panic. Including the CRC may go down as well, because we may have to switch things back over to a common server so everything works. So guys, on the technical side, where we're at with the team, it's been a good week. We haven't had any earthquakes, we haven't had any storms, so thank God for that. Also, we've heard from Sylvie that she's doing really good. They found out what the problem is with Sylvie finally after a week, and she's feeling a lot better. Hopefully she'll be back with us as early as next week. So thanks for all your prayers, everybody, for that. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask Paul to come on first, and then if Elias is after that, if he wants to share with people in a Spanish, whether it's for now or later, it would be good to have Elias come on. I know a lot of people get to see this later in the day, and around the world they watch it over the weekend. So Paul, good morning or good afternoon to you. How's UK doing?
It's all right. It's quite a sunny day today, which is a rarity in the UK.
So, but I appreciate you coming on. Have you got any updates for anybody where we're at with any of the attorneys on terms, conditions, or
to be honest, it's been a pretty slow week because everything comes down to wording. So we've been going back and forth, making sure that the wording's correct and that we're all protected, to make sure that everything's done right, because you and your team are so fantastic, but we keep changing everything and improving everything, that when you do something like that, we have to go back and reword slightly. So yeah, it's a slow process. We will get there. But again, the IP is something that is absolute paramount. We will not go fully live until we are covered. We want to be there for people in the world, to help our supporters, to support others that don't even know we exist yet. So we just need to make sure that we're protected, because without the protection, we're not going to be able to move forward and, help all the people we want to help.
No, absolutely. And it was funny because this week I had the opportunity, I was speaking to another NFL Alumni Association that actually introduced us to a couple of the people that have just come back from the Olympics in Paris. And of course, what the goal is for us to obviously be prepared for the Olympics coming up in the US a few years out. However, they're talking about bringing on some of the celebrities or gold winners, bronze winners that would actually participate in here. So we were talking to them, and one of the biggest concerns they'd got was, if we bring forward our charity, our organization, how do we know that everything is protected for them in reference to different players? In other words, their players that come on, are they only going to play for their charity? And I had to explain to them the way it is. You pick what charity you want to do, unless you're playing in a particular game. And if you're playing in that particular game, you'll always be playing for that charity of that game. For example, the NFL has multiple different charities. So in there, you go in and you select which charity you want to play for. So if you're playing for their main charity, or you may be playing for their Red Cross charity, whichever it's going to be. So these people I had the conversation with, they were like, okay, we'll come on board and support this even before the Olympics, because we can start helping our charity. So that's the key thing. But they wanted to make sure that things were protected. I did speak to Jim, the attorney, under the IP this week, and he was telling me that, basically the trademark and the concept IP is pretty close. What they're waiting for right now is the intellectual property on the code side that joins everything together. And as you said, we keep modifying, we keep changing things to improve it. But again, at the moment, it's just time. That's the unfortunate thing. But by the time we get through testing here this month, and make sure we can get that one done all well, we should be able to push that forward as the first one, and then duplicate from there. The question is going to be is, what does the board of directors, the new management team, you, I, and other people say, how many of these games do we want operational before we go live? That's going to be the key ingredient, So
it is. it's basically a case of once we get the, let's call it the core. Once we get the core ready, all the other things that we plug into it, it's a case of rinse and repeat. So we just need to make sure that we follow the A to Z of it, which is, like you said, doing the IP on the coding side of it. So we need to introduce things slowly because we're creating a monster. This is something that's going to keep growing month in, month out once we get going. Not only with the people that are participating, but with the programs that we're going to be adding to it, or the games we're going to be adding to it. The auctions are going to be getting bigger and bigger and bigger. We need to make sure.
Actually, have some good news on the auctions, Paul. I never even told you about it, but we had another couple of sponsors this week that have stepped up and said that they'd like to participate on the auction site as well. So that is getting more and more encouraging because they're coming forward to do their part, which a lot of you are listening on the call most probably aren't aware. When a sponsor comes on to us, okay, not only are they getting their name out there, but they're also getting their deduction. Okay, so if you don't understand how corporations work in the world, there's a percentage of their money they're going to end up making a profit. So they make that donation to a charity. So they have the option of not paying the tax involvement, but actually doing some good to charities. So when you come onto our auction site, and if they're donating different things to the auction site, which you guys are going to win, it means that they're doing a deduction, but also they've got their charity side on there because they've got their own charity that you're participating in. So some of the sponsors. So we had a good week this week with sponsors. I think we had about 8 or 9 people come to us, and I know we've got 2 commitments from them. Norwegian is waiting to go as well. So our sponsorship is starting to look pretty good.
Good. I'm glad about that. We've always discussed having charity auctions and things like that. There's still plenty of work to be done. But again, like I said, we'll get the core done, and then it'll grow from there. And the experience that we're going to bring to people will just get better and better and better and more beneficial for everyone that's involved.
Well, one of the things what we will say, guys, we've had discussions this week about where the corporate office is going to be, and we have come to the conclusion now that instead of being all web-based because of certain things and shipping and we're going to need a full team that is always working on getting either coupons or making payments to rent or whatever it may be from the winners, that we are moving forward and we've made the commitment to open up a corporate office where is still out for discussion. And knowing that there is a potential IPO, we are considering to be in the US. I think that's the correct answer, right, Paul? That's the kind of the direction we're going.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things, guys, so you're all aware on business side. We take a lot of advice from obviously attorneys or people that have already been here and done this kind of thing. And we are listening to some people that have been involved. In fact, I'm working with somebody closely now that was involved in the IPO for Facebook, which is that they see the potential we've got here. And you wouldn't want to hear what they say. They one of the reasons why they're excited about this is the results and rewards it gives. But one of the things what's needed is if we do bring forward and bring it out of the US and make the office here, potentially there's 2,500 jobs that we're going to be looking for, for people. So depending where you are, if you're in the US, there may be a potential working in the office as well. Again, we don't know if it's going to be in the US at this stage, but if we do the IPO, which is obviously a public trading company, then what happens is we really need to be somewhere where it can be kept an eye on under the securities and keep all of the legality. So, and we may have to file in other countries, Paul. If you remember, that's what that guy said. He said that you may have to have certain filings in different countries. I know they were talking about Australia being a concern. So we'll have to just see how it goes out. But let me see if we got any questions, Paul. And I see Elias has joined us. However, I don't see him on the call. Elias, are you out there somewhere listening in? If you are, I don't know if you want to jump in on the call. Guys, again, we are apologize about the streaming that dropped off, but we have reopened the streaming now, so it should be up on different sites. And if it's not up yet, it's still propagating, but it will be. We've got that all fixed on the code. So if any of you aren't aware and you just joined the call or you're listening later, from here on inwards, we'll be picking up the pace of different webinars. We won't be just doing the one on Saturdays now as we're getting closer. We'll be adding more during the week. And of course, we'll be adding, so there's going to be some training videos we're working on right now, which are going to be, the key thing what we're doing right now, guys, just so you know, every day Bill and Jason are putting these 8 to 15 second videos. I mean, they're doing, sometimes we get 3 or 4 new ones each day. Other days are a little bit longer because they've got to be approved. But we've got a lot of new videos. Well, not a lot, over 100 now, of all of the different advertisement for. Remember, it's eyeballs on the advertisement that creates the revenue, that creates the auction sites to operate. So we've got them, but we are going to start working on a couple of different videos explaining how the auction site works, what you have to do, how you use your points, also a walkthrough of the dashboard. You guys haven't seen the dashboard yet. You've only seen the old one. So the new one has a lot of a different appearance and look to it, and it's obviously seems very easy to navigate around. So we're pretty excited. So guys, we are moving forward. We've had several months, even though we said this is most probably a 2-year project. We're way ahead of the schedule. Again, right now, the problem is getting the approval to release it. And to be honest with you, that's the thing that's got to be protected, like Paul just said. There's a lot of people involved in this now. There's a lot more different people in the management. There's different, other owners own stock now. So this thing's got to be done the right way. And if it's not done the right way, it will come back and bite us in the rear sometime down the road. Paul, I don't see any questions, and I don't see Elias.
No.
I see him in a holding room, but I don't see him joining in with us here.
Seen him made a few comments in the chat, but nothing.
Yeah, I know he was going to come on. Guys, we were going to do some stuff where introduce you to some of our new team, but we want to make sure we're ready. And before we get, not for you as much as some of our team members, when we bring them on, what's going to happen is they're going to be looking for their paycheck. And if we don't need to pay them yet because we're not ready because of the IP, obviously we don't want to bring them on. But there's a lot of our team members that are new people as well as some old people that want to jump on and say, hi, I'm ready, let's go, and kind of explain to you guys. But again, for those of you who have not really grasped this concept, make sure you watch the videos, share it with your friends out there. I think we only ever put 3 or released 3 videos out there. Don't stop signing up people. Every day you sign up somebody, you're increasing your point basis. That every time that person plays, they're going to be winning points for you. So don't stop. Remember, this is a great opportunity at this stage, especially with the round robin, how that's going to operate. It's going to really, really kick things off. But guys, I don't see any questions, and I see a lot of people on around the world. I know soccer just kicked off again, didn't it? Another league, Paul?
Yeah, Premier League started again. The first match was yesterday, so
yeah. So that is one of the ones, Paul, I wanted to tell you about. We haven't started working on that yet. We set up a soccer environment, but that will most probably, because of that league, we most probably should think about, because we had that tennis logged, and tennis is coming to the end of their tennis summer and everything. So we maybe want to move that around and bring soccer up farther.
Yeah. So we'll have a conversation about that and get.
But otherwise, yeah. I mean, Paul. I mean, I don't really have a lot more, to be honest with you. I mean, everybody knows. As long as you guys know, I had a great call or a message from John McKenzie. So, John, thank you for your message as always, asking about the emails, guys. As soon as we get the email program fixed, not program, but our email service fixed, you'll receive an email. Coming out to you guys, and then there will be a constant emails coming out with you, not every hour or every day, but you'll get a regular email coming out with updates on what's going on. So you'll know as quick as we are, because once the server is reset and we can use the email program we wrote and add all the 4,000 emails on there. You got to remember, we've got info at Ripple. We've got just a monster amount of different emails, everything from payments to accounting to legal to everything. All these different emails have been put together and they're not talking to each other. That's a problem we got to fix. Once we get that fixed, if that means that we got to migrate that to a new server so we can do that, which is the way we're looking of going. We have another call Sunday evening to discuss it, and if that is the option this week, you may see our sites go down. You may go to the site and it may just show it doesn't exist. That's okay. We're moving it from one server to another, and it's going to go to a different jurisdiction if we opt to do that. So please be prepared of that. However, once it comes up and it propagates, which is typically 1, 2, 3 days, we'll be able to start emailing all you guys. And then in them emails, we're going to give you some videos so you can see what the videos are. You'll see some of the new sponsors. You're going to see some of the people that are participating in the Magic game, because obviously the Magic game rolls out. Obviously the banners that you guys know about businesses, so you'll have that business opportunity that has changed slightly, where you'll be able to make a revenue from the recommendations of the businesses. So all that is in process, guys. So we are ticking along. I'm going to tell you, and I told you on a call a few months ago, it may be a year, it could even be longer before we roll out all of the, so we picked 62 environments, 62 games, everything from, ping pong through to cricket to all kinds of stuff. That could be a year and a half. Don't expect that up and running here when we go live. What we're focusing on is NFL first, and now with Paul and I just discussing it, and we'll go into more. We were going to go into tennis and then move into some other categories. What we'll do is most probably pick up on the soccer, due to the fact is that's the Premier League, which is a big league, and it goes up. When does that end? Around March, right? Easter, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so, if I remember rightly. Yeah. So that'll give a nice way why we do it. Then, guys, it may go quiet. We may not introduce the other games that we're working on until their season starts. One of the ones we want to do is hockey, because we know hockey is very, very big up in Canada and around the US. And we are looking for the volume of people. Remember, we need eyeballs, and we have asked, different games from people around the world. And we do have some recommendations come in, so that's kind of exciting. There's some games I've never even heard of, but we are also, guys, working on some kind of fun games that you can play in groups. For example, one of the things we discussed last week with Roy was, what about a chess game? So you can participate in a chess game, but not just a normal chess game where you play against two people in the okay, understand the concept, everybody. The more you're in our platform, the more often you are going to get a commercial. It's all about that 8 to 15 second commercial. Now, we're not going to bombard people, so I don't want you to think that. We've made a decision that it's not going to be every single question do you get to watch an ad. They become annoying. But remember, that ad is what generates the points, or the eyeballs that generates the money to get the points for the auction site. So do remember that. So what we've done is now we're starting to talk about having where people haven't got a game being played. For example, on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, there's no NFL. So we don't want to lose that person that's been participating, Thursday night, Saturday, and Sundays. We don't want to lose that person. We want them to still be in the platform, so their eyeballs are watching again and again different advertisements, different commercials. So we've started talking about having some game rooms where you can start to play it. Everything from, even a card game, but we're putting a different twist to it. As always, we try to get creative. So we're putting a little bit different twist to it. So in the chess game, you'll have a team that you can build if we decide to do this. And what will happen is each one of your team members will alternate the playing. Okay, so, and then if you move a piece, and that piece, if you play chess, guys, you know what I mean. If you move that piece and that's taken down, then you're knocked out of your team. The next person plays a place, and then it goes backwards and forwards if you lose a piece. So we're putting new twists to existing games. We're not redesigning, or we're not inventing a new wheel. What we're doing is taking the existing and kind of re-engineering it and putting a new twist to it. So, guys, it's going to be a place that we hope seniors come to. We know that's very, very important. So I got the bingo now that's going to be able to participate. So some of these other games that will be involved, because the seniors, we do want that auction site to make sure they can get some of their stuff, whether it's air conditioning or they need food deliveries or whatever. So, guys, there's a lot of good stuff going. This whole thing is going to take a many, and it'll always be ongoing, but it's going to take many months or years before we get to the end result. So, Paul, any questions you have for me or anything at the moment?
No, I think we're all good.
Right, I'm going to quickly run down here, guys. I won't go through all the names, and I don't see all the names because we got Facebook and the other ones, but I see some names here. So obviously, Jennifer, love to you, babe. I hope you're doing well. Michael, same to you. Keith, obviously. So we got a lot of people. Julie, trying to look at some of the. Andreas, welcome to the call. Eric, Naka, oh, I don't know how you pronounce that. I'm so sorry. I'm going to call you just Mr. Pitong. So just looking around here, who we got. So there's a lot of people on the call here, guys. So thank you so much for coming in and being part of it. We will get, obviously it'll be cool next Saturday. So be on that call next Saturday. We'll hopefully have better news for you. What I'll try to do is do some video of a couple of the games so you can actually see how they work. So I'll try to get that sorted out today so we can video a couple of them and we can perhaps show that next week, Paul. But Elias is not here. So, guys, we had invited Elias to come on to share with the Spanish community, but I guess he's got tied up. We do see him in the bottom room here. We do see him, but unfortunately he's not joined us. But apart from that, guys, we do try to keep this to 30 minutes. It's coming up on 30 minutes now. We don't see any questions, so we want to thank you all for being on the call. Paul, I'll let you thank people, and then I'll close it up, unless you want to close it up.
No, I'll let you close it up. But yeah, I'd like to thank the continuing support of everyone, the patience of everyone, and the understanding of everyone that, you know, we've come up with this fantastic concept. You know, we're going to be pushing everything forward. Everything takes time, unfortunately, and with the technology the way it is, we need the full A to Z to be able to speak to each other. So nothing falls through the cracks, and unfortunately, we're having a few issues where it's breaking down. But Dave's team is working on it. As soon as one problem seems to be fixed, there seems to be two more. I feel very sorry for them because I know the guys work very hard. They put in a lot of hours, but you know, once everything starts moving forward and we start getting the eyeballs and we start getting more revenue, we'll be able to take on more people. More people means things can happen slightly quicker, but it also means that we can grow the company out. Because, you know, the team is working really hard, and we want to take a stance of they're only responsible for so much. And then we've got the next person. At the moment, the team's overwhelmed with the amount of stuff that we keep coming up with and wanting to introduce and wanting them to build, and they're just flat out all the time. And, you know, I want to thank Dave and the tech team for all the effort and all the work they're putting in. It's absolutely fantastic. We wouldn't be anywhere near where we are now if it wasn't for you guys. So, yeah, hats off to you all.
No, I appreciate it, Paul. And the word was their team, and we're all a team with your ideas and concepts and names and everything else what has it. So it's all us working together. Right now, guys, I can tell we're excited. You know, sometimes it's hard to control it, and we want to share more stuff with you. And then we get told by attorneys, no, because this goes out live and people can kind of grasp what we're doing. So we got to be a little bit conservative. I would only recommend that you keep this in your vocabulary. Talk to people about this, you know, on a regular basis about how it's going to change. I mean, think about it. You're talking about somebody that cannot participate maybe in paying their rent, or somebody behind on credit cards, or somebody just needs food, the basics, the bare basics, that can play in this free game ongoing, get points, but also help their charity of choice or a charity that has an option for the game. So guys, this is a great gift for so many people around the world, and we just don't want to mess it up. It's something so unique, and we know it more than you do, because rather than going out and hunting sponsors are coming to us. Rather than going out and hunting new concepts, people are coming to us and say, can we be part of this? That alone in business, it tells you you've got a winning hand. when you know somebody's coming to you and want to be part of it, and we're not even launched yet. Okay, that's the exciting part. If you talk to anybody, you talk to your own pastors, you talk to your own church groups or whatever, and tell them what's going on, they get behind it immediately because they want to do something to help somebody today, not next week, not next month, not next year. They want to help today, and this is something that they can participate in and help people immediately. I mean, one of the new things we got, and it's been challenging, is this coupon program. You win the points, you'll be able to receive a coupon. And that so we're trying what we're trying to do, guys, is get everybody to win something on the auction site. We don't want you to lose on the auction site. So we're trying to figure out a way that even a loser, and I hate using that word that way, but even somebody who lost the bid can still get a reward, maybe a 20% off coupon, or maybe a free hamburger or something. So we're in the process of doing these things. So not only does it have to be thought about, the concept has to come up, the visionary has to come up, but then we got to sit down and say, okay, now we know what we want to do. How do we do it? And then once we figure out how to do it, then we got to go back to Paul and his team and say, okay, Paul, can we do this legally? And then he's got to find out, yes, we got it legally, we can do it. These are what we can do. So everything is a challenge when you're trying to come up and either redesign something or come forward with a new concept and an idea. So guys, it's a lot of work. We appreciate it's not costing you guys anything apart from the 30-minute window once a week, but I do encourage you to sign people up. The people that are going to get in here, this first, maybe even, when I say a million people, guys, you might say, holy mackerel. Okay, I'm talking the first million people are going to benefit from the 100 million people that's going to get on behind. We're not talking about, it's something here that's going to have 20 million or 20,000 members. We're talking about in the hundreds of millions of people around the world that will participate in this. This is a big one. This is one of the Facebook type, the X type, the YouTube type organizations that it could be. Obviously, we got to build it to that, but that's what we're dealing with, and we'll be able to help people on a daily basis. Whether it's they're looking for a warm coat, looking for water, they're looking for something because they just went through an earthquake or a fire, or farmers need crops, they've lost everything. They'll be able to go and bid on this auction site, and at the same time, when they get rewarded, they're rewarded another charity because of the points. Guys, it's a win-win situation. So anyway, thank you all for joining the call. Paul, thank you again. I look forward to talking to you. You enjoy the weekend. Elias, thank you for coming on, even though we didn't see you, but thank you for coming on. And all the rest of you from around the world, we appreciate you. I know a lot of you watch later and over the next few days, but appreciate your comments. Keep up doing what you're doing. Keep signing people up. God bless to you and the families, and love to all of you. And we'll see you next Saturday. Thanks, Paul. Love to you, brother. Talk to you soon.
Love to you soon. Bye, guys.